Once upon a time, there was a powerful and influential man named Gustavo. Known for his unparalleled fortune and the force with which he dominated business and politics in the prosperous city where he lived. He was a widower, and his world revolved around two things: expanding his empire and securing an impeccable future for his daughter Helena, the only light remaining in his life. Gustavo envisioned a grand destiny for her. That she would marry someone worthy of her, someone who represented power and wealth and who would solidify the family legacy. However, Gustavo never imagined that Helena's love would take an unexpected turn. Her heart found refuge in the sincere eyes of Miguel, a simple young man from a working-class family and a resident of the outskirts of the city. Miguel was humble, but possessed a generosity that Helena had never witnessed in her privileged world. His smile, even amidst his hard life, conveyed something that captivated Helena deeply. A purity and a hope she had never experienced before. He dreamed of being a musician and spent his nights playing an old guitar, composing songs to express his story and the challenges of his life. The love between Helena and Miguel blossomed in secret. They met in secret, shared dreams and promises. And he sang her songs he created himself, about the love they felt and the world they wished to build together. In Miguel, Helena found freedom, sincere laughter, and the courage to be herself, far from the shackles of the destiny her father had planned. However, when Gustavo discovered his daughter's romance, feelings of betrayal and fury overwhelmed him. He refused to accept that his daughter was involved with someone so distant from the universe to which she belonged. For Gustavo, Miguel was just a fleeting illusion, something he would soon erase from his daughter's heart. With threats and punishments, Gustavo pressured Helena to abandon Miguel, claiming she would lose everything: her name, status, and security, but Helena resisted. Months passed, and then an unexpected revelation fell upon the family like a storm. Helena was pregnant with Miguel's child. Gustavo watched his world crumble, and with it, the plans he had so carefully woven over the years. Desperate, Gustavo devised a dark plan. On the night Helena went into labor, Gustavo kept Miguel away, insisting it wasn't necessary and that everything was under control, but the plan that would unfold was one of the cruelest. As soon as the baby was born, Gustavo told his daughter that the little one had been stillborn, and the pain in Helena's heart mingled with despair. Devastated, she begged for one last chance to hold her son. But Gustavo denied her the right to see the body. He then sent the baby to a distant orphanage, where Miguel would never find him. Where the child would remain hidden, in a childhood divided between foster homes and the city streets. Years passed, and Helena never managed to overcome the pain of that loss. Unbeknownst to her, she and Miguel had taken different paths, and he never understood why Helena had distanced herself from him. Uncle Gustavo believed the plan had been a success. Helena was once again by his side, immersed in high society, busy with the family business. Still, the emptiness persisted, like an open wound. She never forgot the baby she believed she had lost, and her mind often wandered in daydreams about the child, what he would be now. Years later, Gustavo's secret began to crumble. A nurse who had been present the night of the birth, sensing that her life was coming to an end, sent a letter to Helena, revealing the terrible secret. With her heart pounding, Helena confronted her father, and he finally yielded, confessing the whole truth. Her pain and anger were indescribable. Feeling betrayed, Helena resolved to repair the past and began an intense search for her son. Visiting orphanages, facing bureaucracy and uncertainty. Miguel, for his part, who had never lost hope, learned the truth from Helena and resumed his own search, even carrying a mixture of love and sadness. For months, Helena and Miguel were united, both driven by the desire to find the son they believed they had lost forever. Their encounters, once awkward and tense, became filled with tenderness and recognition of everything they had lived through. And on a cold winter night, following one last clue, they arrived at the orphanage where they found the boy they were looking for. Lucas, a teenager who had grown up on the fringes of the system, with an intense gaze and an impressive talent for music. A talent he had developed on his own with an old guitar, just like Miguel. The reunion was emotional, but also challenging. Lucas, with a natural talent for music, expressed his emotions in the songs he created, many of which described the longing for a family he never knew and the hope of one day finding someone who truly loved him. Helena and Miguel, upon finding their son, knew that time had deprived them of moments they would never recover. But there, embraced, they vowed never to leave him alone again. Lucas didn't immediately accept the new reality. Resentment was strong, and his difficult past had left him distrustful. But Helena and Miguel promised to be by his side, supporting his talent and encouraging him to follow his dreams. Together they began to rebuild the love of a family that, despite traumas and losses, was finally united. After their first reunion, Helena and Miguel quickly realized that regaining Lucas's trust wouldn't be easy. He was a resilient teenager, forged by the streets and the challenges of foster homes, where he learned to depend on himself. The reunion affected him. The boy harbored a mixture of anger and uncertainty, and his independence made him distrustful of any promise Helena and Miguel were willing to do anything to earn Lucas's respect and love, but they knew they would need to be patient and sincere. On his first visit to their house, Lucas brought his old guitar, the only object he had carried all these years, like a loyal friend in difficult times. He had discovered his passion for music from a young age, a talent that blossomed on its own and which he used to express feelings he could never share. One night, after a long conversation filled with silences, Helena suggested he play something for them. At first, Lucas hesitated, but Miguel's encouraging look was decisive. He began to play his own melody, full of melancholic notes yet pulsating with hope. The notes, though simple, were intense and resonated deeply in Helena and Miguel's hearts. It was as if in that music they could hear the pain, the struggles, the longing, and the dreams that Lucas had kept secret. Miguel, who also had a musical gift, saw something special in those melodies. After Lucas finished, Miguel picked up his own guitar, which he hadn't played in years, and together they began to improvise, creating a harmony that filled the room with an unexpected warmth. The musical exchange became a wordless conversation, where father and son finally found a common language. From that night on, music became the most powerful link between the three. Talent. Lucas's. Both in skill and in the way he expressed himself. The musical sessions became a ritual in their meetings, through music. Helena and Miguel slowly won Lucas's affection. As the months passed, Helena decided to go further. She found a music school and enrolled Lucas, where he could hone his skills and explore his gift. At the same time, Miguel and he began to compose together. The songs they created spoke of overcoming, of reunion, and of the bond they were building day after day. On one of those nights, Lucas revealed a special composition, which he called Nameless Heart, in which he narrated the years he dreamed of finding his parents, but without ever knowing who they were. Miguel and Helena listened in silence, moved, feeling in the lyrics the intensity of their son's suffering. Through these compositions, Miguel and Helena were able to hear Lucas's wounds and dreams, and in return, Lucas gradually understood that his parents were truly there for him. Lucas's talent was not only a bridge connecting them, but also a link that reconstructed the past and allowed him to create a new story. Lucas's relationship with Miguel and Helena continued in this way, slow but true. Each composition revealed more about who he was and the strength that sustained him. Together, they found in music the way to get closer and, above all, to start a new family life. While Lucas dedicated himself to his music studies, the connection between him, Helena, and Miguel grew stronger. Little by little, they discovered that each carried unique marks, stories that needed to be shared and understood. Lucas began to open up more about his lonely childhood, the years when he felt lost and invisible, and each of his words was like a blade to Helena, who relived the remorse of the night. Gustavo told her that their son had died, but despite the pain, Helena never hesitated to be by his side, holding his hand, listening to each memory with affection and silently promising That past of abandonment would be left behind. Miguel, who had also listened to those stories with a heavy heart, felt the strength of the bond between them growing day by day. Like a melody that, after many years, finally reached its perfect harmony. Then, on a special night, Lucas revealed to his parents an idea he had had for a long time. He wanted to hold a concert, a show, where he would share his original music with the public. And more than that, he wanted the concert to also be a tribute to the love and reconciliation that his family had found. For Helena and Miguel, the idea was moving and powerful. It would be a chance to show the world Lucas's talent, to give him the confidence and recognition he had never had before. The big day arrived, and Lucas was nervous. But when he stepped onto the stage and saw Helena and Miguel in the front row, his heart calmed. He began by playing some of the songs he had created during years of solitude, recalling the pain and uncertainty that had once kept him lost. But gradually, he steered the concert toward his new compositions, those made alongside Miguel and inspired by Helena's presence in his life. Each note seemed to pulsate with hope, with healing love. At the climax of the concert, Lucas approached the microphone and, with a choked voice, spoke to the audience about his journey, about the reunion with his parents, and about the feeling of gratitude that now accompanied him. He presented his song, Heart Without a Name, dedicating it to Miguel and Helena. The entire auditorium was silent, completely absorbed in the delicate notes and sincerity of that melody. The song seemed to tell their story, of a family separated by pain and reunited by love. At the end, Lucas couldn't hold back the tears and broke down in emotion. The reaction was immediate. The audience gave them a standing ovation, and Helena and Miguel rose to meet their son on stage. Amidst applause and tears, they embraced right there, under the spotlights. That moment seemed to freeze time. A scene that represented the end of a journey of pain, the beginning of a story of love and unity. That night, Lucas, Helena, and Miguel knew that their painful past had finally been overcome. Together, they were now more than just mother, father, and son. They were a family built and strengthened by music and love that had withstood time and distance, and under the soft light of the stage, they promised never to be apart again, ready to face the future side by side. Like a symphony of affection and redemption,